Another beautiful morning from Ibadan, the capital city of Oyo State, here in Nigeria. Today we will be discussing an important celebration. The United Nations has declared 23rd of April the World Book and Copyright Day, and that is what we're celebrating today. Today already I have a guest in the house. We will be talking about the World Book and Copyright Day. What do you need to know about this celebration? Welcome to this platform, Community Today, where we're celebrating the World Book and Copyright Day. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Good day, listeners. I'm Owolabi. I serve as the MD of Owolabi Publishing Company, a publishing outfit which is into publishing of affordable learning materials with a concentration of learners from families that are categorized as low and middle income and families. The pleasure is mine to be here, sir.
You're welcome. Today is United Nations Day, set aside to celebrate the World Book and Copyright Day. What does this mean?
Yeah. In 1995, UNESCO, during the General Conference, declared April 23 as a day, to celebrate and also promote the reading culture, the publishing community, and people who contribute meaningfully, who contribute, to providing content. We call them authors, to celebrate them and everyone involved in the book value chain, and also to raise the awareness, the consciousness of reading. Reading is a culture to be imbibed. It's a culture that sustains the world, that sustains, the knowledge transfer. Reading is something that it helps in learning. I believe reading helps in gaining other people's experiences. It opens you to the world. So April 23rd is a day that will learn and that will raise the awareness, of reading. The focus is usually on the younger generation, even though it's not that we're not talking about the adults, but the concentration majorly is on the younger generation, because if you are able to help a child imbibe a culture, there are chances that the child is going to grow with such. So the publishing community, we raise awareness. We do this over and over, but April 23rd happens to be a day that we majorly focus. There is a campaign around the world. As I talk to you, there are events going on around the world. In Ibadan here, there is an event going on across the world. Today, the capital of Georgia, Tbilisi, will be declared, or has been declared already, as the book capital of the world. It's going to be like that for a year. We have that every year. A particular city of the world is declared the book capital, of the world.
Now, thank you. We'll be looking at Nigeria and the youth, and of course, the reading culture. There is this popular saying that when you were to hide something from an average African man, just put it in writing. You will never get to find out about that important thing. What do you have to say about the reading culture in Nigeria, especially among our youths?
Well, let me first of all address that saying. The saying that when you want to hide a thing from a black man, you put it in the book, is not absolute any longer. It's no longer absolute. What I mean by that is that saying has been challenged over and over. However, we are not saying that we're there already, but there has been a significant progress in the reading culture over time. However, much still have to do. I was in a meeting sometimes last month, and I was invited to talk about reading culture. And I said to them, I said, you know, when you see young people who have this culture of reading, most especially young professionals who are no longer in school, you know what they read? Majorly, motivational books. That's fine. But you know, reading, it's an holistic thing. You just keep learning, you keep gaining insights, keep gaining knowledge from various walks of life. Not just because you are a medical doctor, or you want to focus your attention on is books that has to do with your industry. You read wide. I said to them, I said, what about reading the world map? What about reading things that are, you know, just nature? Reading things about, you know, just reading wide. So I want to challenge Nigerian youth. Yes, we're moving from what we used to be, but we are very far from where we should be. I want to encourage us. Let's cultivate this habit of reading. You know, it exposes your mind beyond your present environment. You know, take for instance, if you've never been to a particular place, somebody who has been there can document a book and provide this in a book form for you to read. You know, you don't have to be there to have the feel and the experience of that particular place. When you are talking with information. You are giving value just because you have been able to accumulate this over time. And you know, book happens to be one of the cheapest methods of learning. You know, there are various ways of learning. Experience is one of them. Experience is said to be the best teacher. And someone rightly said that the experience that will serve as the best teacher should be somebody else's experience. It should be cheaper that way. And one of the ways to convey somebody else's experience is through books. The experience that somebody has gone through over 50 years, 70 years, even 80 thereabouts can be put together in a book, and you know, just speak, you read. And nowadays, you know, thank God for technology. You know, books are now in various formats that are even, you know, easy to carry about. We have our devices, we have the e-books on our devices. You know, just, you know, we can access some of these things. So in short, I want to encourage us to, you know, encourage Nigerian youths. See, the only way to rule this world is through knowledge, and one of the easiest ways to get this knowledge is through books. Keep adding value to yourself. Keep adding value to yourself. Don't be limited to your particular industry. Don't be limited to a particular gen. You know, just keep adding value, getting information from various, you know, sources. As long as these things are, you know, as you know, whatever form they come, just keep adding value to yourself. So you shouldn't just be held back to, you know, to saying that when you want to keep a thing from the black man, you put it in a book. I don't believe it's absolute. However, Nigerian youth, we are still very far from where we are going.
Now, let's look at this point. Of course, the popular saying, the reading culture is dwindling by the day. The advent of internet has even made people no longer read books. How do you think that the government at all levels, the federal government, the state government, and indeed the local government can promote the reading culture in the younger generation as they cut them young, which is no longer in existence today?
Well, it's a project that is beyond what the government alone can do. And, you know, that's why publishing stakeholders and, you know, everybody in the book industry, we're partnering, we're doing things, you know, to raise this awareness. However, government is the largest stakeholder in this thing that we're talking about. You know, growing up, there used to be literary debate and, you know, competitions, you see. But we no longer have those things. We no longer have them. There used to be programs and competitions, you know, that are sponsored by state government and, you know, various government at various government at various levels. We no longer have these things. So I want to put a challenge to the Nigerian government and people at various level of public office. Let's ensure that we bring back this culture. You see, we have a number of activities that really don't, I don't want to say they don't add value, you know, but let's promote this reading culture of a thing. The Nigerian Publishers Association is doing fine in their angle, and some other stakeholders. but we want the Nigerian government to come and, you know, aid this. Let's organize events that will go across the nation and that will encourage our younger ones to read. I'm aware during the, you know, because UK celebrates their World Book Day in March, which we are celebrating in April 23rd in Nigeria and some other countries of the world. You know, as a result of, they are trying to avoid a clash between April 23rd and the St. George's Day and the Easter holiday, Easter school holiday. You know, what they're currently doing is, there is a token given to every child, a £1 to buy a book. So you don't have an excuse. In Nigeria, there are children who don't have access to books. A school owner once contacted and said, can we get old books? I said, what do you mean by old books? I said, books that have been on for a while, they are no longer in vogue, so that we can buy them at cheap. I said, why? He said, our children can afford this. So I think the Nigerian government also needs to look into how to bring down the cost of a unit, you know, a unit of a book. When you look at what the paper is saying, you know, cost of bringing in paper into Nigeria, the cost of importation, and even the land, is exorbitant. It's much. So I think government needs to do more on ensuring that players in the publishing industry, in the book industry, were able to make books affordable. Like our brand, we are very much passionate about making books and other learning materials affordable. But the truth is, these things must be sustained. So the challenge to the government, let them be deliberate about bringing, you know, books available to our children. Our children, when I talk about children, I'm not just talking about children in cities. Even in villages, they should be able to afford books. They should, you know. But the truth is, publishers can't sell at a loss. We are there to make money. So, whatever the government can do in this regard to ensure that the cost of book printing and the entire, you know, value chain is significantly reduced, then we can make books available at a cheaper rate. Then citizens who don't have the resources to afford, you know, can be able to do. So I want to put a challenge to the government, to the Nigerian government, and government at state levels to be able to intervene. At what level of intervention they can be able to, to do.
MD Owolabi, today you will agree with me that technology is making the hard copy books to basically, I don't want to use the word that go into extinction,
okay?
but to basically become irrelevant. What do I mean? The younger generation today prefers their learning to be in audiovisual. When you give them a hard copy, they find it difficult to read. But do anything on audiovisual, technology-driven thing, it's always very easy for them to assimilate. Because of the trending things, I'm going to use a computer, I'm going to use devices in that regard. What is the Publishers Association doing towards this trend? It's also happened in the traditional print media. Today, it's online. If anybody wants to sustain in publishing news for larger audience, and if it is not online, you're not. So what are you people doing in this regard?
You see, one thing I want to say is, books have evolved over time. Books were never in the format we have them centuries back. There were times when books used to be on scrolls. It evolved. The Egyptian papyrus, at a point the Romans brought about the codex, which is easy to carry about more than the the scrolls, because he said that an average scroll is about 14 to 52 feet. You can imagine that. So books has been evolving, and when you follow the trend, well, it is believed that the hard copy book may not totally go into extinction. However, the significance will be greatly reduced. Now, I'm not speaking for the association. I believe everyone who is serious about this business of publishing will need to leverage on technology. Not just the publishing industry, any form of business you are into, as long as you are serious about it and you have the going concern, you want to be there, you have to leverage on technology. Technology has made it so easy that you can carry millions of books on your device and go around. You can't carry, if you are carrying about 20 books now, people like, are you a lawyer? People are started asking you things, So technology has has revolutionized the book industry. And publishers are not left out. We are not looking at it. We are also following the trend. And that's why we see many of us now, we have our titles online. However, the security of our content is a great concern. It's a great concern, because when you talk of technology, we have been talking of piracy of the hard book. Now it comes to the e-book, where people can even easily download and start sharing. There are WhatsApp groups that are created for the purpose of sharing books. Security has been a challenge. However, we are working with this, and there will always be challenges in business, whatever one you want to go into. So, security or no security, we're going ahead. As long as you want to remain in business, you have to follow the trend. That's
It's the community today, where we're discussing today's celebration of World Books and Copyright Day. Finally, do we really have copyright law in existence, functional and helpful to authors, publishers in Nigeria? If we do, what are the challenges? How can this be modified?
Well, there are laws that there's a copyright law, and there's even a government agency that specialize in administering copyright to intellectual property, be it book, work, music, graphics, or whatever intellectual property we have. But the challenge is this: even our laws are not, they are obsolete. What do I mean by that? Some of these acts, Copyright Act, and even acts generally has to do with the book industry. Some of them has been made several decades ago, and they are not really in tandem with modern day realities. When somebody is arrested and prosecuted for book piracy today, there are people, even the penalty is not that compared to the magnitude or of the effect. So I want to put a challenge to the National Assembly, the Nigerian National Assembly, to do something about this. Let's come up with laws that are relevant to modern day, not things that laws that they have been formulated decades ago that don't really have effects in our modern day society. So it's a challenge to the National Assembly.
Finally, what would be your advice for the booming youth out there towards imbibing the culture of reading?
Well, I want to throw a challenge, and the challenge is this: every day, endeavor to read for 10 minutes. It's that simple. It's that simple.
So I'm sure you have enjoyed every bit of this program. You stay community today, and I'm sure you're celebrating the World Book and Copyright Day. So we'll come again. It is community today. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless you.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.